Hey, what's happening guys? Welcome back. As you can see, I hope you can see, Terry's actually on the hoist today. We're going to be robbing some parts off of him for the new project car. I teased a little bit of a front end shot of the new car that is sort of going to be my new play around car until I get the VY on the road. The VY's sort of just been pushed back and back and back as things in business and life happens. So we've been super flat out in the shop. It's really good. It's encouraging. So having that as my main priority is essential. So focusing on that is what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks. That's why you guys haven't seen me upload. We're pumping out car after car, just trying to make the best of everything. So today what we're going to be doing on Terry is I'm going to rip the diff out of it. The diff and shafts, and if I don't break the bush housings, I might actually steal the brand new bushes that are in it. It's got a brand new Super Pro, I don't think it's the comfort kit, I'm pretty sure it was the performance kit. They're like $480 or something for the set, and they're basically brand new. I drove 3 days on those bushes, so I'm going to try and use a squeeze cut tool to push them back out. Hopefully I can save them. I'll chuck them in there. The new car saves me having to buy some fresh ones. So yeah, dip, shafts and bushes. We're going to try and get out of that. This Territory has a 346 or 345 ratio dip, where the new car has like a 292 or a 27 something or other. It's stupidly long and it's unnecessary. So I do have to check also if the Territory has an LSD. I hope it does, because that was kind of the point. The old diff has a open center and it gets a real sketchy when you try and step into it. It'll light one off and then it'll grab the other one and it sort of jitters the car a little bit, and that's no good. So I'm gonna go and check that out, and I'll check back in when I'm ready to rip the diff out. Alrighty guys, I had to rip out the tail shaft so I was able to get it to turn, as well as take off the handbrake cables. It was just binding up a little bit. So a quick and easy way to tell whether or not your car has an LSD. I mean, it's not real quick. You kind of got to put it on the hoist. Alright, shit, I'm trying to explain it better. Alright, an easy way to tell is jack up, say, the left rear of your car and see if you can turn the wheel. If you can, with it in neutral of course, see if you can turn the left wheel you jack car back and forth. If you can turn it back and forth, it's probably an open center. If it binds but sort of breaks free and then moves, you've probably got an LSD. So I'm going to test it from underneath, where I'm just going to grab the yoke of the diff and spin it backwards, go forwards. So see how this one's going forwards? So is this one? That's usually, unless you've got a really tight, like sort of locked up open center diff, that's generally going to tell you that you've got an LSD. So on this side here, it doesn't give you much information. In the VE, VFs, they actually say LSD, yes or no, in those, which is kind of nice. So yeah, this one's a 346 diff, and it's pretty healthy. So I'm going to work on dropping the cradle out now, and we'll check back in once we've got it out.
probably missed half of that, right? Yeah, lift down there now. Put you guys up. Alright. So this is what your diff looks like from the top side. It's also the reason you have to drop the whole freaking cradle to get the diff out, because it just can't come out. You got the wings off the side that bolted on the inner, and you can't get it out the front. So if you ever have to do anything to diff, most of the time it's full cradle out. So that's all right. It gives you access to everything, like the upper camber arm. So these outer rose joints normally flog out, and you'll be able to move the wheel back and forth. So they generally will cause a little knock as you go over bumps. I've got a bit of shit stuck up there. Cool. All right. There's nothing really much to look at, I guess. It's just it's a cradle. I had done my rose joints too, but given that the car was in a side impact, I don't trust the control arms being any good. More than likely they've been stressed and they're bent slightly. So pretty much the cradle and the suspension are fucked. I'm not going to use them. I only want the diff and axles and the diff wings and bushes. So there, the Super Pro bushes. So we've got the front sets there, and then the rear one in the back. So I'm going to tear this down now, get the different axles out, and I'll put the cradle back in the car so I can get it rolling again. Alrighty, so the first bolt, the first nut I tried to undo to strip this apart, and it's the axle nut, and the axle's actually seized into the hub. So if you guys haven't come across this before, pulling apart your Falcons, if you're trying to change an axle, so you snapped it, or you need to do a wheel bearing, change out the hub, whatever, if you've got to pull the axle out of the hub, just about, I'd say 75% of the time, the axle's actually rusted into the hub, and you just will not get it out. You can get it out with a hammer, but you'll end up just mushrooming the end of the axle, and you'll either mushroom it into the hub and you won't be able to get it out anyway, or you'll mushroom it so badly that you can't get a nut back on it ever, and you got to buy a new axle. So this tool is really cool. It's from PK Tools. This is an axle pusher, so it bolts onto your wheel nuts. This then runs into the center of the axle. So you put tension on it with a gun, just a couple of taps, take it off, and then tap it with the hammer, and it should come loose just a touch. Then you want to tap it a couple more times, put tension on it, tap with the hammer, and that will actually just with the tension on it and bump, tension, bump, you'll eventually push it out, or you'll get it loose to the point you can just drop the hub down and it'll come out. So just put some tension on it. So yeah, it's still a little bit tight, but that will come out now. So pull the nuts off. Show you the inside of this. So that's the inside. Obviously you've got reliefs for center bores, and this just winds in until this meets your axle here. And yeah, all you're doing is tensioning it, whack it to like break the rust spot loose, tension it a bit more, and you'll just push it straight through. So this one is probably loose, but because I haven't dropped the axle, there's no room for the axle to keep going back. I haven't dropped the hub, so there's no room for the axle to keep going back. So yeah, handy little tip. I think these are like 300 bucks, but they will save you 200 bucks on an axle. And then if you times that by 2, if you're gonna bust 2 of them, you actually save yourself 100 bucks by buying a $300 tool. So sometimes it's worth it. Alrighty guys, as you can see, or I hope you can see, that bush is out. There's no diff or shafts in it. So different shafts over there. They both look in good condition. I was able to get both axles out without mushroom in the end of it. I did have to give it a fair bit of a whack and use that pusher tool to get it out. So it is a good idea. I don't know, if you do enough of them, like if you buy and sell Falcons a lot, or if you own a couple of Falcons, or if even you've snapped an axle and you're replacing one, it may actually help you if you go and grab that tool, either see if you can loan it from someone, or buy it outright. It'll likely save you money anyway. So there's our bush. I've knocked it out relatively unscathed. It's just got a couple of marks from where screwdrivers or chisels or something went in when the people fit these bushes. So that one's out. What I was going to do is show you exactly how I got it out. So I mean, it's a 5-minute process. It's not too difficult. So another one of these cool tools that hopefully if your local workshop's any good, they're going to have, there's a cup set back there. I don't know if I'll be able to get these in there. Hang on. There we go. So there's a cup set there. So those cups are actually specifically sized depending on what you're working on. So you'll figure out. All right. So your OD of that is such and such. You go and grab an OD of the same. That way you're able to line them up and push directly on where you should. Because if you miss or you turn, you can crack the housing, and then bush is no good. And if you're replacing bushes and you crack the new one on the way in, yeah. So we all know how that goes. So I'm going to do this one, and basically to get it out, I've already, there's my inner cup. I already know which sizes I need. So I'm going to whack this in through the backside. Line it up nice and straight. That should be about right. Spanner on the back, just tap it. Alright, now that I know it moves freely, we're not flush with anything. That'll do. So this cup's grabbed the bush, the back one has the housing. It should just knock out. There we go. There's my bush. Now it's bloody stuck in this because I don't have a, I might have a large one and I just didn't check. So I'm just going to whack this in the vise to grab the lip of the cup and then knock the bush out of it. And before someone on the tube yells at me, I put the cup in, that on top. there we have it. That is our bush. So I got one more to do, which is the rear one. That one's in there real good. I'm a bit scared of that one because I don't know if I have the cut big enough. But yeah, I'll get out that out of the way and put this back in the car. Next video up, I suspect will probably be maybe we might give you a walk around the new car, give you our thoughts and plans, and we'll let you know who's coming on board to help us with that build. I've got a couple of companies that are going to be throwing in to make the build pretty cool, make a lot of power. Just some cool products and tips and tricks coming up. So let me know down below, how do you take bushes out? And for the love of God, don't tell me you cut the floor out. I've seen that before. The old BABF group, there's a lot of nutters on that one, and I've seen some shit on that Facebook. So let me know down below how you like to do your diff bushes. If you're not subscribed, please consider. I don't really post all that often, but when I do, I try to make it worthwhile watching. So anyway, guys, catch you in the next.